This is Fabrizio from the Radar. We just finished, half an hour ago, we finished our first live stream of the Sandbox 3 experience, and now we are starting our AMA. And we have very special guest today. Is Sebastien Borget, the COO of the Sandbox. Maybe a lot of you guys know him. Hello, Sebastien. Thanks for coming, for joining to our space today. It's a pleasure.
Of course,
Really
it's a
big pleasure.
pleasure to have you. And great introduction. Like, wow, that video sets the
Yeah,
mood.
actually, it's from my previous experience that I played, and I work on this clip that I made together. I would like to have something fun as an introduction video clip
Mhm.
for this series of streaming and AMA. So I just have fun to create the clip. So it was long, but not that hard for me. I thanks very much. Thank you a lot I appreciate that you like it. And also, guys, we have with us Pedro. Pedro is my colleague. He's he create our reports, so our gaming report. A lot of articles. A lot of information about blockchain gaming, Web3. We also collaborated with BGA, that is Blockchain Game Alliance. Sebastien is the president of BGA, and we collaborate with them. We create the report for BGA with a lot of data, a lot of insight. And Pedro is the guy behind this data. So it's the magician that share with you, with the rest of the Web3, all the data that we study on Web3. So, guys, if you are ready, we can start with this EMA. We have a lot of questions for Sebastien, because we are very interested to know his opinion, his vision about Sandbox, Web3, things like Web3 gaming space. So, let me start with the first question. So, Sandbox started with an original vision, all of us know this, and seemingly stick to that pretty quite strong. So, we saw a lot of changes over the years in terms of product development and vision, and also would like to know, maybe the audience might not be aware of this. So if you can give us your vision. You can talk a little bit about the Sandbox in general and from where you started,
Of
from
course.
where everything started.
So, the vision around Sandbox has always been to empower players to become creators. We started back in 2012, leveraging new technology back then, the smartphones and the touchscreen on the smartphones, so that anyone could become a creator by the touch of their finger and bring to life 2D pixelated worlds. That game, we launched it on iOS and Android, and it grew rapidly into a large success. We had more than 40 million installs, 70 million player-made creation by then. People enjoyed spending time creating, sharing, and playing other people's creation. Yet, we also had one struggle. Because of the limitation of the platform, Apple and Google Play Store, we couldn't reward the creators who contributed, who spent time to make those 2D worlds that ultimately made the revenue of our company, because it brought more players and more sales. Around 2000, and that frustration actually it translated in us not being able to retain the creator over a long time. So after a few months, after a few years, our top creator were leaving. Like, just fame, social recognition, featuring the creator wasn't enough to keep them engaged. They needed more, and that more, we believe, was monetization. In 2017, as entrepreneur, we always keep looking at new technology, and we actually start looking to blockchain and the possibilities. Then came up CryptoKitties, the first blockchain game, and we tested it, and we saw immediately the potential of NFTs, not just to copycat and make virtual dogs and virtual dragons instead of virtual cats, but to enable anyone to create their own NFTs, use them as game assets with a game maker, and be able to own them and monetize them the way they want it, by selling it on other marketplaces and so on. So combining user-generated content and NFT actually was the beginning of a new version of Sandbox. This time becoming a platform, a 3D world with a 3D editor, a marketplace, a map, a no-code game maker, and all of that powered by blockchain and NFT, so that anyone could make 3D content and games and experiences, own them, monetize them the way they want. Then people could access those experiences with an avatar, play around, socialize, interact, and that's the beginning of the metaverse essentially behind. We spent the last 4 years working on it, upgrading the different products, shipping, based on our vision. To date, we have over 400 major partners, more than 4 million users with a registered wallet. And the Sandbox is definitely one of the most advanced metaverse platform that is really pushing to become build an open metaverse.
Okay, great. You also anticipated my question. What's the difference between the Sandbox 3, Alpha Season 3, and the previous one? Perfect. Very exhaustive question. Pedro, your
Hi.
your
Yeah, so we know that the Sandbox relies heavily on user-generated content, and we are seeing the success that traditional platforms like Roblox and Minecraft is having. Wearables and, let's say, game items are also a multi-billion-dollar industry. So, what is your vision about the Sandbox in empowering creators inside a blockchain space, with the advantage, of course, with NFTs and marketplaces? What is your vision about empowering creators and artists inside a Sandbox?
I think it's really, the Sandbox is really a feed driven by creators, community, and the creator economy in general, like all our players and creators to fully own the content they create and be able to monetize it the way they want. It goes beyond, like I believe, like we put a lot of effort into supporting an overall ecosystem of creators and builders and now metaverse studios and agencies on top of Sandbox, who are creating the experiences on top of their land for themselves, but also for some of the top brands, top communities that are present in Sandbox. We also see, like, we want to create the metaverse as this fun place, this entertaining place that is going to bring, created by the community of brands, of studios, and of individual creators who are taking content from the marketplace, from the brand, officially licensed NFTs, and with our tools that are really easy to use, accessible, doesn't require any coding. Voxel is like digital Lego. You don't need to read a user manual to start playing with Voxel block, to express yourself, bring to life experiences that goes beyond your imagination, but also like beyond gaming. And that's something very important in Sandbox. Even if our DNA is games, you can create things that are like more virtual shows, virtual concert, showcasing art and NFTs in galleries, museum, dance club. And well, I love the video introduction because I felt like if you've never seen Sandbox before, you just saw that video and you can already see the variety of environment, the variety of action, of gameplay behind. We launched just last week the Alpha Season 3 of Sandbox because actually Sandbox is still in development as a platform. We are not fully live and open at all time. But this, since last week, it's a very important milestone for the company, our third season. It means the platform will be open for 10 weeks, full of experience, full of content. Anyone can enter, can play for free, and start experiencing the metaverse by themselves with their avatar that they create or avatar that they use from interoperability, so external project in the Web3 space. They complete quest and they can earn reward based on their completion. And the quest is very varied. Like you played it yourself every day at 1 p.m. UTC, there is a new experience unveiled. So far, we've launched the experience with the South China Morning Post, with Warner Music, with Sueco, with The Walking Dead, with Rabbits. There was the Club XYZ with Steve Aoki. It's already quite diverse, different genre, different environment, mood, and quest you complete. I love it. The community seems to enjoy and playing it. They spend a lot of time competing in the leaderboard or socializing. Yes.
And I think this is the ethos of the metaverse, right? It's also impressive to see the amount of brands that the Sandbox is collaborating with. You named just a few, but you have also the Playboy Mansion, and you have a Snoop Dogg, and you have a myriad of
We have
other.
Atari,
Yeah, yeah,
Ubisoft.
yeah.
So big names from the traditional, let's call Web2. So traditional gaming
The big
studio,
brands.
traditional industry of gaming, they are coming. They understood, but not everybody understood this. You know what I mean, Sebastien? So Minecraft, the recent ban
Yeah.
of NFT. You're short. You're sure about this. Your opinion. I have my opinion. I think it's a bless for the Web3 and for the project like Sandbox, because it means that people users that are looking for a game, a metaverse, or like Sandbox side want to see Minecraft side, but Sandbox side they will come to the Sandbox, and of course, FUD it's advertising in general. So, but what's your short opinion about the reason behind the Minecraft ban of the NFT?
Well, the first thing I think it's important to clarify, like Minecraft is heavily around user-generated content, but not necessarily the creator economy behind. So to actually earn a revenue on Minecraft, because Minecraft is not a game maker, you have to create your own server mode to start monetizing it the way you want. They only very recently introduced the scripting and the game maker side on the Microsoft control environment. So it's been, there was no marketplace, no economy in place really, except maybe some skins for the characters. So in a way, people have been spending a lot of time creating amazing content that definitely contributed to the success of Minecraft, but took very little value other than fun and entertainment for themselves. There was no revenue share and so on. And the fact that Minecraft say like NFTs are not inclusive and are not supporting the very core as a technology that is neutral, the idea that people can own the content they create and choose how they can monetize it, and they make that decision on behalf of users because maybe one or two projects have been not exemplary in their execution and condemn a whole industry behind, I find that very wrong. But I also feel like it's really a missed opportunity for them to take a next step into the digital economy because people are understanding what the NFTs can enable to now, and they see that yes, categories of NFT are more like collectible art. They don't have a strong utility, but once you have like a space where people can create content and they can launch experience, welcome people, play game, etc. There is a real utility beyond those NFTs for avatar, for lands, for equipment that could, and it could have been paving the way in a sense, again, like reinforcing, but instead they chose to close on it, which is, in my opinion, like not surprising, but not helpful in general for like them even to keep their creator and retain. And I think you can see that even if Minecraft is the most sold game of all time, metrics are on the decline. And whoever was playing in Minecraft a year, 5 years ago, I don't even know if they touch Minecraft again today. So they're facing the same issue we were facing before.
Yeah, there are a lot of speculation around this topic. Someone said maybe Minecraft wants to create its own marketplace, its own NFT. They own in-game Web3 items, but we'll see. I think I agree with you. In the future, next 5, 10 years, all games will be in Web3. They will use what we call today NFT. Maybe one day will be called like in-game asset, in-game items, online items, whatever it is. But all games will be in Web3 and
Yeah.
with what we call today NFT. This is my personal opinion. I saw that many people share the same view. So
I don't see
another thing,
any other way. Like the market is moving forward, and like asking
yeah,
users to go back to like not owning their digital assets is actually nonsense in 2022. When the technology is here, users understand the value. They develop business models such as play and earn, guild, creator economy on top of it.
absolutely.
But I think it's also about how we have this challenge about educating people, and they not really understanding the power of NFTs and the potential of the underlying economies that they can enable. We saw also how Steam banned all blockchain games from the platform, which is something in the same category. So definitely a shame, but also an opportunity for blockchain games to showcase their potential.
Absolutely. So I
Always.
would like, yeah, I would like to know your opinion because I think it's also connected to the Sandbox game, Sandbox season. These days on Twitter, there was a post about the bot that more over 60 games have a lot of bots. So there are not real person behind playing the game, but bots. I also saw the video, a video about it, and seems they are human bot. Like in Asia, there are big room, big offices with a lot of players that play that game. So they are not bot; they are real person. You introduce real people. You introduce the KYC, so to avoid this problem. But what's your idea, your vision? I mean, do you think that in the future more and more dApps projects will introduce the KYC both for to avoid bots and for local regulation of different states, different countries?
I believe, like, first of all, like, it was important for us to listen to the community, since this is the third season we've launched. We've launched season one last year, season two in March, and people wanted to also feel like there was more and more security and safety around the way they play, and make sure like they indeed compete in fair condition with other users. And it's true, like when you see, I believe the whole internet is probably built and as unfortunately built like social media. Well, don't look too far, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they are full of bots because there is an economy behind the like, the generation of like, the generation of followers, and so on. And there is if there is a flaw in the design, in the economic design of play to earn games, where like indeed they can easily bot it, you can be sure that, well, less not well intentioned people will try to always uh, benefit from those potential holes. So we put in place a strong team that's actually running multiple well, like we're multiple check on the score. We've put in place the KYC to validate the identity of our users, in place like industry grade security to detect fraud in terms of like actions, and we monitor constantly. And we're going to keep improving that, so we provide the user experience that everyone is happy with and feels they are like still not demotivated by seeing a score. So we know that that technology is in place. It's scanning every once. I don't want to tell too much detail, but it scans everything. We're going to increase the refresh rate so that you will not even have the chance to see a wrong score or a score by a bot. And we appreciate the support of the community as well in reporting what they believe is not possible, as we use over 20 different parameters to analyze every performance, every action in game, and so on.
Okay, great, perfect. It's a very good insight. The future of the future of Sandbox and the technology behind the project. So you mentioned play to earn. We start with play to earn. Then we have play and earn. But it's not the end, because now we have own to earn. If I'm not wrong, there is a limit break that launches collection Digi Daikaku, and there's a lot of hype even in this bear market. And so, what's your idea about this play to earn player? Different terminology, and does this impact on the sandbox, on the next moves, in the future sandbox? You will change something? I mean, different. We have play and earn, or own and earn, or you will invent your model.
Well, I think it's at some point the different terminologies getting more and more confusing. It's very like
Yeah.
why we just need to show the benefit for people They don't really care if something. I don't play a game because it's free to play, or it's play to earn, or it's own and earn, or and so on. It's more like reward people for their action because they spend time in game. There is a proof of engagement, and those actions will feel as valuable to the overall community. And that's why we're putting in place this system. You complete quests, you have leaderboard that increase your chance, and other action also outside of Sandbox. You own NFT, you earn points as well, and all of that contributes towards your chance of earning more at the end of the season. Let's stop confusing people with, I don't think many people outside of the crypto ecosystem are even looking for play to earn and play and earn. They're just looking for games, plain simple.
Yeah,
And that's
looking
what
for
we focus. Let's make great games. Sandbox is aiming for that entertainment, a format of entertainment that's new, that brings together brand and user-generated content that appeals to audience all around the world, and we reward people for that without them like always repeating the same action. Also, like something very important, like we want people to feel the metaverse is about a great diversity of action, of behaviors, socializing, becoming friends, dancing, sometimes like speed running, but not all the time, can also reward you.
Okay, great. So maybe Pedro wants to add something.
So definitely an interesting take, and I think we are talking about the most interesting topics that surround currently the current state of the blockchain game ecosystem. And we have previously talked about the challenge that we are facing from the traditional industry. We talked about the Minecraft ban, and now let's talk about the ease of access and the friction that currently exists with Web3 technologies. So a question that it's interesting to find out, it's how will the Sandbox establish a smooth process, onboarding process for people that might be not so experienced with Web3 technology? Are you guys planning to do something about reducing the friction, or anything that you can share, Sebastien?
I think we always improve season after season the way people can onboard Sandbox, and that's why we have 4 million registered users with wallet. Half of them created a wallet for the first time, so you do not need yet to own a meta to get started with Sandbox, even if and that's important. Sandbox is a driving force to bring more users into the metaverse. Ultimately, people come because they want to try out those experiences. They want to discover what can I do with my NFT, becoming an avatar with interoperability. They want to discover how brands are launching experience in the metaverse. They want to try the best game made by the community. Some of those games who won at Game Jam. They want to be inspired as they will create themselves on their own land. And if you look at the community of Sandbox, many people who entered metaverse, who decided to buy land, own sand, or play, they were not gamers before. They were not creators before. They might not have been. And so it's important to also show like how Sandbox is also bringing a different audience than necessarily the audience of like AAA game, console, PC gamer, and so on. We're also appealing to the fans of brands through all our partnership, which are global. We're reaching toward 1 billion people. We'll not bring 1 billion people, obviously, right now, but some of them progressively might be appealed, might want to connect with their favorite celebrity or brand in the metaverse. Visit Snoop Dogg house. For the first time, play at Steve Aoki mansion. Listen to the new music created by their favorite music artist, and so on and so on. And we are a space that offer that kind of new, that link towards between community and brands, and that can appeal differently than traditional games.
No, thanks. Makes a lot of sense. I think by reducing this friction, we will get like probably not a billion players next year, but over the next 10 or 15 years, we will definitely get to that point. And also in Web3, changing a bit of the topic, in Web3, we often talk about unique active wallets as a measure as a metric to measure the activity. Then we talk about the trading volume, for example, talking about the Sandbox. We see that it's the second largest virtual world by trading volume in the entire industry. Which other type of metrics do you envision we will see from the Sandbox that help us understand the game's economy and the Sandbox market that you're making?
I think, well, those are definitely important metrics, but they are not the only one that should reflect the health of the game. Normally, you do not just buy and sell. That's not the core loop of your game. Like, because there's nothing else to do than buying and selling, maybe that's what we've seen before. So the unique number of transactions is definitely not representative of like how people are engaged in games. In Sandbox, people spend well over 30 minutes a day, sometimes hours, just engaging with their avatar, meeting, socializing, trying to beat the best score. At some point, they might decide, oh, I want to buy a new avatar. I want to buy an equipment and own it, and maybe that helped me. Or I'll decided I'm going to create my own game and buy a land. Those are decisions that come not that often. Also, let's think about the category of NFTs. Typically, the most popular NFTs in Sandbox are now avatars and lands. Those are digital assets that you buy once, you own, and it's almost like you own forever. Like it's not like you're going to sell your identity, that avatar, every time, because it's you basically. It's your new representation in that world. And the same for land. Like land is a category of asset that people understand the real utility behind, and they are very much likely to hold than to swap and trade with other users all the time, unlike maybe playing card in TCG or a creator in a game, in a fighting game. So that's why like Sandbox is definitely one of the largest market cap for virtual estate, even though there is not constantly a big trading volume around land, because we have a very stable community of over 22,000 landowners. Other metrics, I think, like definitely we should also, blockchain games are essentially still games. So retention, engagement, average playtime are important metric that we still should look at. And ultimately, floor price related to the utility. Basically, if more people want to come in and use assets, then actually there are sellers, the floor price might increase. But it increase for the right reason, because there is a utility, there is a lack of supply on the seller side versus there is a strong demand, many bids for the selling price. And that would be typical of like high demand goods.
Yeah, I agree. Will we be able to see, for example, which land experiences are getting the more visitors, or maybe could we see which avatars are the most used? For example, talking about a straight collection like Bored Apes or Cool Cats. Will we be able to see that at some point?
Yes, and it would make sense. Basically, we will need to expose more data publicly about the number of visits, the number of players who are live in the game, etc. That's just step one. And then you look at the metaverse as a big picture, and there's already companies like Lighthouse, for example, who are trying to map the metaverse across multiple virtual worlds so that you can find your friends no matter which metaverse they are actually in. You can join them across, you can search for content no matter which metaverse they are, and so on. Kind of like the Google map or the Google aggregator of content across multiple decentralized worlds.
Okay, yeah, I guess we will eventually get there. So now that you're talking about multiple virtual worlds and multiple platforms coming together, I guess you're already guessing my next question, where it's going to be. And yes, interoperability. And Yeah, of course. We know that it's one of the most important elements in Web3, especially talking about metaverse projects and so on. So you now allow users to use their profile picture NFTs as avatar from different collections inside the Sandbox game. This is something that we really love. What's your favorite implementation, and how easy will it be for other profile pictures or this type of avatar collections to integrate with the Sandbox? And we could start using these ones as avatars.
I think it's one big step. The season 3 is one big step toward ability. I remember back in February, we talked and like, which favorite collection would you guys like to have in integrated in Sandbox that we make interoperable? And we worked hard to achieve this, like to bring over 130,000 unique NFTs, each one with a unique design, to be from 13 collection, Clonex, Borget Yacht Club, Cool Cats, Gutter Gat Gang, Gutter Rat Gang, Moonbirds, Cyberkongs, to come to life as 3D character. So just owning the original NFT allows you to have a 3D playable character with the look and feel of the 2D character, 2D NFT that becomes playable in Sandbox. And we are seeing a great engagement from those community. People love to play with their NFTs and go on adventure and earn for the time they spend and all the reward as they complete quests. And the goal is to accelerate that. Like we build the tool, we build the workflow, we've collaborated with both our great community of artists, but also external teams to produce all those. And I want to scale that, train more and more people to do that so that we can make more collection that can be played in the metaverse. We really see the metaverse and Sandbox as this place within the Web3 ecosystem that adds value to all projects. Like when project own land and they can build experiences and their community can become their virtual neighbor and co-create with them the world where the activity can happen. But also like we allow people to socialize and do many other kind of activities with those avatar than the core gameplay or the core of whatever this Web3 community is about, whether it's a DAO, whether it's a collection of characters, and so on.
Great. Yeah, I also hear about Red, one company. I don't want to say the name, but it's going over the interoperability, going to the multi-operability, kind of multiverse. So all these metaverse, different are connected together. So the user with its avatar or the game can stay and live on different metaverse at the same time. I don't know how they will achieve. They're supposed to achieve this year, next year. If they will do it, I think will skyrocket the metaverse. I mean, the metaverse industry. This would be very great integration. The last question I have: if you can share with us a little bit about the future project for the Sandbox, I mean the roadmap. If there is something you're cooking something for, I mean, I know that you are looking forward. I mean, the next maybe 5 years or 10 years, but just share with us, what are you gonna do? What gonna do in the future? Maybe Alpha Season 4 or whatever you want.
All right. So keep upgrading the different tools of the Sandbox. Voxel is game makers, so to add even more capability for creators and increase the diversity of experience you will find. The next major update of our game maker will add a lot of visual effects and finally the virtual concert capability. And that will lead to first launch a virtual concert by the end of the year. More to be announced on that. But also people to make even more festivals, virtual shows, music-oriented content on their own. The publishing is quite important. We want landowner to be able to publish on their land, open their experience to their community and start monetizing or engaging their community. So that's a strong part of the roadmap that we're working actively on. And then mobile, like Sandbox is still a PC and Mac experience. We're looking at how we make it broader and mobile with different approach and solution so that we can it can be accessible seamlessly from anywhere, and then keep thinking from there, like how we make uh, metaverse truly immersive and we best leverage the brand we bring, whether it's through self-expression of avatar, through dance, through motion capture, through voice chat, and so on. It has to feel and keep that feeling of magic, of being something fresh, something new, something diverse, inclusive, never seen before, where people want to spend time and always be uh, amazed, you know.
Great, really. I hope that that Preda will be. We will have first. We will have a fourth season in the future. I hope yes. After this.
I hope so. You know, like even let's talk about like who we'll find in the season 3. Of course, we'll find all the music artists and games. Like you'll see Smurf, you'll see Care Bears, you'll see Pororo, content from the community. But you also see project from the Web3 project about education. Like Ledger is actually opening Ledgerverse with School of Blocks, and you will be very surprised at the high quality, the fun, the ways they've been able to educate people about security, safety of their wallets. It's very well done, and it's launching this week.
Oh, great. Yeah, what we need, I think, to reach the mass adoption, to onboard more people from the web 2, the simplicity. Because for many people, it's really very hard to have a seed phrase, connect to MetaMask or to Ledger. Then it's very, very. I understand. For who is not crypto native, it doesn't have time for doing all this stuff. It's very, very complicated. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that we will join that player will join with his own land and experience for season. I really hope. Let's see.
Well, I hope you play it, you get great inspiration. Maybe you work with that broader community
Yeah,
to build that world with them.
sure. Yeah, because we are maybe understood. We are also investing. I mean, energy resources into blockchain gaming. We want to step into the blockchain gaming, and will be a reference point for the blockchain gaming. So I think personally think that this is the best moment to build. It's beer market, but who cares? It's like a filter, so we'll eliminate a lot of noise, a lot of bad project, a lot of scams. So I daily speak with a lot of blockchain gaming projects, and they are working hard, they are developing, they will launch next month or Q1. So there is a lot of stuff behind. So developers are active, projects are active, and I really see you see as well in BGA a lot of very good projects, good games are coming out. So they want to emerge in this market. Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
I have no more question for Sebastien. So, Pedro, if you have any other question, or we can let him go.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions, but I
Yeah.
think it's enough for today.
Okay,
Then
great.
we'll
Okay.
need to have a conversation. Maybe toward the end of the season, we come back and
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
We can do it.
Yeah.
With a pleasure. Okay. Perfect. Okay, Sebastien, thank you so much for your present for this EMA. You share a lot of information, very valuable. Thanks a lot. And see you at the end of the season.
Thank you, Pedro.
Au
Thank you,
Bye.
revoir.
Fabrizio.
Thank you,
Bye
Pedro.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Au revoir.
Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Oh, hello, Sebastian. See you with us. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. So, if you want to have a chance to win 2 alpha passes, please share this email on your Twitter, tag your friends, and our team will select 2 of you. I suggest you to be a little bit of a little bit creative. So if you have a screenshot of my gameplay, share it. So share under your post, retweet, just make some noise, and you will be awarded. Okay. Thank you so much for watching.